We can get anybody to join us for a few. Been a long day. It's only noon. Oh, mercy sakes alive. Mercy sakes alive. Get up in the morning, get so much freaking done. Noon comes around and you feel like it's like 5 o'clock in the evening. Insane. Ugh. You folks on replay, welcome. Glad you could catch it in replay at least. For those of you that jump on the live, good on you. Good on you for hitting that bell for the notifications and such. Rocking the PSA today. ACR, what is up, brother? Good morning to you. It's morning where you're at. Great state of Texas representing right there. Ooh, got a busy day here today. Did the morning chores and such. Caught up with my boys' podcast, Lake Bottom Lounge. Going to be on that April 5th. We're set down to record in the studio and looking at jumping on that with Eric. It's going to be a fun time. Random podcast, not like mine, where it's more focused into the Minuteman preparedness survival thing. And then my schizo rants. He actually has structure to his random, whereas I'm just like, ooh, squirrel. Today I got my little multi-cam kitty with me, hanging out. But yeah, here in a little bit, whenever they get here, my daughter's coming back home for a little bit. Her and her sister are going to be working on their nails with their mama. And my daughter's boyfriend Isaac is going to be joining me here in the cave to dude, squirrel, man. Oh, it's so hard to fight it, man. So hard to fight it. Whenever I have guests with me and they have a worse squirreling than I do, I am the structure and they are the chaos. So it if I have somebody with me, boom, switch flips and I military metal kicks in. But whoo-wee, when I'm all by myself, man, nothing holding me back except maybe this little cat up here. One of these days I'm gonna have to get you on there too, ACR. We have some fun. But yeah, today we're gonna sit down and be recording episode 47. I'm gonna be titling that one Ashes, Ashes, We All Fall Down. It is going to be a schizo rant episode. George Washington. How goes it, sir? Yeah, this episode 47, I'm having to throw out a disclaimer on it in the beginning, and play my Joel Thomas soundbite for those people that might get their butt cheeks tight. Yeah, kicking that one into the old Manson Sweet Dreams, yeah, it's going to be one of them. Going over all of the stuff that is currently going on in the world, and our nation. Um, things aren't always what they seem to be. Get some burning going on there, GW. Nice. We have to cut sod and till to get ours going, and we're still have snow flying here. So unfortunately, I am not going to be able to get to that for several weeks, but I got to get rid of a snowblower first before I can buy my tiller. Next door neighbors, we're looking at putting dual gardens in. Actually, there's four of us here, kind of like in an L shape, that we're all putting in gardens, and we may not necessarily grow stuff for us too, but something for somebody else. So we trade in amongst ourselves, and our new garden is going to be. We tried one last year, like tore out a bunch of landscaping around the house and put in various stuff: tomatoes, zucchinis, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, carrots. We did in like those buckets that you can put potatoes in. We did those. Did some peppers for Isaac. Yeah, it turned out pretty good. Some of the stuff didn't do that great, but other stuff flourished right there. So we're basically going to be doing tomatoes right around the house because they loved it. The Brussels sprouts, we're migrating them. Um, yeah, we want to try and get as much as we can in our little tiny plot here on the back side of the subdivision. So it's really weird where I live. Like we have this massive subdivision over that way, and it's your typical copy paste cookie cutter subdivision kind of thing. But we're outside the fence, but they consider us part of it. But we're like borough, but not part of the subdivision, but we are only by proxy. So we don't have to adhere to any of their rules. So if I want chickens, I can get chickens. If I want to do a garden, I can do a garden. Um, they don't have any of that HOA BS, thankfully. I don't bow to communism. Little definitely can become big. Um, but no, we try to contribute to each other and help each other out with different stuff, different projects, and so on and so forth. Um, Neighbor on the other side of me here, I talk about him quite often on the podcast. Actually, got me this shirt when he was working down there. Um, he was talking about buying the lot on the other side of him that is empty but fenced in because the person on the backside in the subdivision bought that empty lot. He was talking about buying that, and we're talking about how we can set up a fence and so on and so forth and everything else, and tagging with the guy on the other side of him, who's a buddy of mine, um, and work it out here in the community, like at least on our block. Anything cracks off, you got four yeehaws here ready to ting handle shit. But yeah, the I gotta watch how I move. I forgot to take my rifles off of camera. Don't want to get my PP smacked again. But no, we actually have a bigger mag, um, more so in the county and multi-county that we come together, which is really cool. Um, yes, GW, I did see the White House Zelensky snafu. That was a that was special. Um, and I make no no however you want to say it. There's no hiding it. I'm a constitutional man. I'm not for Trump. I'm not against him. I was not for Biden. I have no dog in that fight on that side of the fence. Um, if it's BS, I will call it out as BS. If it's good, I will call it out as good. If it's stupid, I will call it stupid. I will call it what it is. I don't care who's sitting in the chair in that Oval Office. I will call it for what it is. Um, but yeah, that whole thing was seemed like political theater, like kabuki theater to me personally. Um, just not. Come on, guys. Why are you're trying to work stuff out and like trying to get through stuff? Why is Zelensky going to go in there and start crapping on the U.S. and then they start crapping on Zelensky? Dude, knock it off. This is what we're here for, task and purpose. We're not here for theatrics, and that's what it seemed like to me. It was like theatrics. What's up, Pilgrim? Welcome to the show. Little apple juice for y'all. Here's to you. Nothing fancy ACR. Just got some Jim Beam vanilla in here. Woke up, was kind of. We stayed up really late last night, and then got up early this morning and started hitting it. So, like, getting the funk out. I got really bad allergies. I take Zyrtec and Allegra and all that kind of crap. So I end up hacking and hacking and hacking for a while. In the morning, I'm like, you know what? That much Jim Beam vanilla ain't gonna hurt me. But my cat left me. She's off cruising the freaking cave now. Aren't you, Charmy? Come here. Come here, Charm. My cat's named after a Pokemon. My daughter named her. She's named after the Charmander. But I call her Lucky Charms. Little Lucky. Come on. Come on. Come on, Charms. This cat, if she had thumbs, she could probably like are you just gonna stiff me? Are you come on. Come here. She could probably strip down an AR and rebuild one, strip down a Glock and rebuild it. She probably knows how to use this stuff better than I do at this point. As much time as she spends in here with me doing stuff. Oh, kid, come here. Come on. just like a cat, not to listen. Stupid little fuzz brain. So anybody getting into anything fun and exciting today? Ooh, getting that workout, man. Yeah, I got that going on later this evening. I'm looking at getting one of the weighted vests. I have some weighted stuff, but I don't like it. I'm looking at getting a new setup so I can go out and cruise the neighborhood. Where we're at here, we're on the edge of town, the south edge of town, the south. They call us the South Ridge, um, and it drops off into the middle of nowhere. So I can strap up and I go basically about half mile that way, and it's country. I go about 1,000 yards that way, and it's country. I go about 2.5 miles that way, and I'm out of country. I'm through town to get to that side. I got to go through town and everything to get. I go that way, it's town. I go that way, it's town. But I can at least strap up like a weighted vest and jog and do that kind of stuff here around town. But if I want to go actually ruck up, I got to go to one of my boys' properties, which isn't bad. I mean, they're only within, 10, 15, 20 minutes away, depending. Or I can go over to my dad's old place and it's nothing but country out there, like ponds in the backyard and farm fields and woods and all that. Their place where my parents lived is out in the country where I would like to be. Like I grew up and we had 6 acres, and my cousins had like 10 acres, 10 or 12 acres. My aunt owned like 60. Um, and then everybody around us there, and we were friends with the farmers and stuff, and like all the way back down into the valley, the holler. Um, it was like nobody was back there but like some hunting cabins and stuff that were privately owned, and everybody was cool. So we just go out crashing around with the dirt bikes and quads and mountain bikes and all that kind of stuff, and go out with their pellet guns. And you're gonna come see me now, finally? Thank you, Charmy. Of course, she's gonna come up here and be all my little multicam cat, little charms. But no, we used to go out and have all kinds of fun doing crap whenever I was a kid. So I grew up like that and I'm used to that. So like being in subdivision or being close to it or close to town. When we lived in town here a few years ago, it sucked. I did not like that. All the drunks and the crackheads walking through, and a couple times I had to grab up something and chase some vagrants off, but it wasn't too bad. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, but it's not like it's like downtown Detroit or Philadelphia or something. Charm, you are just being the slinkiest weasel. She just has to freaking help me with everything. She got to be all up in it. We call her Little. She is. We have her sister Peach. It's my wife's cat. Um, their mom, her name is Noveski. We call her Nova for short because I'm a Chevy guy and I like my Novas, but I also like my Noveskis. But yeah, she gave birth to Peach and Charm, and we fell in love with them as kittens, and they stayed with us. So um, yeah, Peach likes to come in here and dink around with stuff, and occasionally Noveski will show up, but very rare she'll come in here. But if my youngest daughter, Cat, her Obi-Wan, if Obi-Wan comes in here, it's like hell to try and get him out. Pain in the ass. But yeah, guys, going into the podcast here this afternoon. If y'all got Spotify, look me up over there. The link's in the bio description stuff of this channel. But it's fun. I get to let my beard down a little bit more over there on Spotify's. Get to talk a lot of random, um, they'd say conspiracy type stuff and all the nut job type stuff. Yeah, I get to talk about all that kind of stuff. Like if you listen to the old Dartmoor, what's up, brother? If you listen to like the old Risky Krisky schizo rants that he used to have on here before they killed it, that's me over there. So, and I was doing that while Krisky was doing his thing. I did that back then on the Warrior Collective channel. My brother and I would go off. It was great. But yeah, I have the links in there for that stuff over there. The early episodes, I was just getting my feet wet, and I was using this thing to do it. So the quality was not there, and I was using my Samsung level headphones. But then I ended up going on to Amazon and getting a few accoutrements that I needed to be able to go and actually do things effectively. And I got some of the stuff figured out. The production quality is so much better on there. So, and if you watch my videos here, I have no special intros. I have no special nothing, just straight to it, straight to the video. I cut the BS off the end, cut the BS off the front. Here we go. I will have a video I just trimmed for the YouTubes here. That will be posting later on here. Not exactly sure what time, but if I can get it done before Isaac and I sit down to do the podcast, then cool. If not, it will be later this evening. It will be covering my designated marksman chest rig that I set up for that. It's still a work in progress. So there's not everything on it and so on and so forth. Don't have it fully set up yet, but it will be set up here when the weather breaks. Like I said, we're still getting some snow here and there, and it's cold AF. Um, I like to do my inside work if I can whenever it's this kind of weather, because winters in Pennsylvania are not very forgiving. Um, yeah, it's like winter gets its claws into us. It's like Elsa has a bipolar session and she just keeps throwing snow at us, letting it go. Not a fan of it at all. And I've lived places where you have warmer temperatures all year round, but then you got like dust storms and tornadoes and earthquakes and that kind of stuff. Or you go down south in like the tropical-ish Florida kind of areas and down the southern East Coast, southern West Coast, and like where ACR is down the Gulf. You get your storms coming in through there and your typhoons and your hurricanes and flooding and stuff. And I'm like, not down with that. Dartmoor, I am drinking bourbon right now. I am drinking Jim Beam Vanilla. It was the first thing in the front of the cabinet, and I was like, me, I just pour a little bit in there. But for the masses, it's apple juice. Okay. Um, Once we get on to the podcast, I will be drinking the Nelson Brothers Classic. I'm gonna break out I have a hand grenade whiskey smoker that the wife got me last year or year before for Father's Day. I am going to be smoking that Nelson Brothers Classic for Isaac and I whenever we go to the podcast. Um, I'm half tempted to disconnect that stupid smoke detector up there and fire up a couple stogies in here while we do it too, but we'll see. Probably not, but it may happen. It may not. But either way, we're going over the Nelson Brothers on that because it's 5 o'clock somewhere, right? But no, the chest rig, going over that in the video. Couple little cool things in there. One of my followers here on the Tin Man channel, um, Medic Up 2024, he has a little Olight clip light. He likes his, I like mine. Things a great little light. I mean, charges USB-C just like your phone. I mean, has white, red strobe, has high, low, medium. It does great. It clips on the molly, it clips on your hat. I mean, there's a bunch of different ways you can use it. But I like it in the chest rig because it's so small. It's literally like that big. Like you can tell how big that is. Okay, here is a soda bottle cap in relation. So it's only like that big. It's very small. But it has all the functions I need for in that chest rig, just for map reading, a simple white light. If I do need to signal for rescue or something like that, I can't. It does have the strobe that I can use that, and it's Type C USB, and I carry those cables with me anyway in my assault kit, in my ruck, in my bag that I'll actually be carrying with that for my patrol rig, DM rig. So yeah, it has features I need. A couple Cologne sticks, some wipes, Sharpie for marking stuff, multi-tool, paracord, fire kit, water, like the little Whirl Pack bladders that stand up. I love those things. I learned about those through Ranger Survival and Fieldcraft here. Andrew Ogle doing his channel. Um, Tip the hat to him. He's got like amazing channel. If you guys don't follow Andrew on Ranger Survival and Fieldcraft, you are seriously missing out. Dude does amazing work. Um, but yeah, I have the water treatment and stuff in there, and I got the medical dangler and stuff. Um, I like that rig. I really like it. I am looking for a couple um, 10 round AR-15 style magazine pouches. They're smaller, 10 round, so I can stick them on the wings, one on a radio pouch and one on the outside of course, now Charmy's just going to keep coming back. Um, but putting the 10 rounders on the medical pouch or the radio pouch and the wing for the 25 rounder. So that way I have a couple, precision magazines out to the front. So if I do need to be precision versus just spitting lead, I can grab the tens right there versus having to dig in to the rig or get into my pack or into a drop leg or something. Um, I have not used a Grail bottle yet. Um, I told my wife Father's Day, birthday, anniversary, something, get me one, let me futz around with it and see what I can do with it. Um, I'm kind of a purist in a way. I like my old metal canteens with the or Nalgene canteen with the nesting cup and the nesting stove. I do really like those. Um, I use the treatment tabs and I have filters. I have the life straws and all that kind of stuff too. Um, if I'm a non-permissive environment, I'm going to treat the tablet, treat with the tablets, or I'm going to take and use the filters. The Grail bottle is awesome because I call it the water French press. So you French press it and you make water. Um, it's worth it. It gets rid of chemicals and more stuff than a Sawyer. Yes, they do. They definitely do. I don't. I have a couple Sawyers, but I don't. Here comes Charmy again, and she's gonna fall. I don't want to move. She is just struggling with that. Oh, if I get up from this chair, it's gonna lean back and she's gonna go flying. But the Sawyers, I have a couple of them. I like them. Living up here in the mountains, we have like literally mountain water and spring water everywhere. Um, I've gone with a couple other filters. I don't remember the names off the top of my head. If I once I get into my bags and stuff, I find them. I'll post up a link on my channel here in the posts with what I got for that. But they tend to filter more chemically um, than what the Sawyers do. I still, even though I'm boiling the water, I still want to filter it. So I at least filter it first, then I boil it. In my packs, I always carry, some of you guys may not know this, may not have gone back and watched the videos. I carry two hydration bladders with me. I have one clean one that only clean water touches it, and I have one dirty one. So I can collect water, treat it, and then after it's been treated, boiled, all that kind of stuff, then it goes into the clean one. I also, in my ruck, have a 1 gallon bag that I carry along with that dirty water. In case I need to grab extra water for my team, I can grab a gallon and bring it back versus a gallon and 3 liters versus, just filling up myself. I can help one of my homies out because maybe they are busy doing something, or maybe they may be on a security whatever. They might be out doing a quick patrol around. They might be setting up a hide somewhere or something. I can at least grab water and bring it back so that way it can be treated and ready to go for when they need it. Hey man, those grails, they they from what I'm reading, my friends that do have them here, um, one of the things I like is they don't have like a treated water taste whenever you drink the water from them. There are many filters out there that you still get like that filtration taste, like a charcoal or something that comes through. I do like to pre-filter my stuff. Like I always have bandanas and stuff like that that I set aside for pre-filter. Even in my like canteen cup and stuff, if I have to dip it out of a pond or stream or something, I will take and pre-filter it before it goes into my cup. But or even pre-filter it before it goes into my canteen or whatever. Um, but no, those grails are pretty awesome from everything I understand, and I do want to get one. And if I do get one, it's probably going to be the one that I would take and have with my um, plate carrier setup. That's exactly it. It doesn't filter more volume than a Sawyer, um, but it is a quick solution. Um, I like the fact that you just basically, like I said, French press it and you got good, clean, clear water. So my thought process behind having the Grail is whenever I'm having to be a plate carrier guy, having to use a plate carrier. I don't necessarily like to use a plate carrier when I'm out in the back 40. I would rather use my plate carrier for whenever I am close into the thick of it, closer to being a bullet magnet. Um, so I tend to want to be a little bit lighter. Um, So I would want something to be able to get water faster. That's why I put the quick disconnect on my assault pack. So I have a setup that I can undo my mouthpiece that I suck has a on-off valve, but it has a quick disconnect that I can connect the filter on there, and I can connect up like a squeeze hand pump to pump water, so I don't have to take my pack out. I have a little hand pump, like a little bulb kind of thing that I squeeze, and I can pump water out of a puddle. I can hook up to a garden hose and take water. I can take it out of a sink, whatever, out of a water bottle to go into my hydration bladder. I like that quick get to it for my assault gear for being in an urban environment. If I'm going more rural, then I would have more chance to drop treatment tabs or whatever, or boil or something like that. So that's why I'm thinking like a grail for that, you know, closer to more people would be better. Um, what do you have in pack for food energy, dude? I can't even begin to list, man. We make our own a lot of things here. My wife is into sourdough and all that kind of stuff. She makes sourdough starters. She has sourdough starter going. She's going to be making um, soft pretzels here this afternoon, this evening, um, from that sourdough starter. We have dehydrators, we have vacuum sealers, and all that kind of stuff. Um, I'm big into like grilling and smoking and doing those kind of things and barbecue kind of stuff. So I take and I do a make my own seasonings and stuff. Um, Here we have a restaurant called Red Robin, and you get the bottomless fries. Well, they have the Red Robin seasoning that goes on the fries that's like really freaking good. So I make my own seasoning like that too. So what we'll do is we will take and make our own chicken stock, our own beef broth, our own that kind of stuff, and I turn that into like a bouillon base or bone broth base and a powder. And I will take that and mix that with rice to make chicken and rice, and I'll add in the parsley and everything else to make it like a almost like a chicken soup or a beef soup. And I'll take noodles and I'll dehydrate the noodles that'll already dry. You just have to rehydrate when you boil them and stuff. Put those in there. I will put rice in there. I will do that kind of stuff, and then vacuum seal everything so that way it's like a one pack like soup packet ready to go, or a one packet chicken flavored something. And I have all these little packs of like pre-cooked and canned chicken that I'll take and use those along with that rice. That way I can have more protein in with it, just not the fats and the sodiums and stuff. No, I throw in the chicken with it. Um, I have beef strips that I'll take and we cut them down, dehydrate them, seasoned up. Then I can just basically reheat them and go, or I can chew on them because they're just like a biltong or a jerky or something. Which those are great. Also use like a lot of Cliff Bars. I'm a slut for them white chocolate macadamia nut Cliff Bars. Love those things. I do use those. I do lean into like the bouillon cubes and stuff like that too, along with coffee and tea and stuff. I can't drink that much tea, so I lean more into coffee. I get this bad thing of kidney stones if I drink too much tea. I have to lean into like green teas and ginseng teas and stuff like that versus black tea. So I have some of that kind of stuff in my bag, and I put the bouillon cubes in there so that way, if I am making a hot brew, I can throw in bouillon cubes and stir them up, and I can get some sodium on board. I can get a little bit of fat on board, um, depending on the season and what I'm doing. If I'm boiling up something, um, I've been known to be like the coffee guy. Um, One of my buddies has like a micro French press and has like the little thing, and I don't do all that when I go out. I just literally take instant coffee. One thing I used to do is I didn't use like Tabasco or ketchup or mustard or any of that stuff. So I used to trade the other guys in my unit with that stuff for their coffee. So I had like a quart size Ziploc bag that I always kept in my pack with all the coffee, instant coffee packs from the MREs that I'd just take and literally put it in like a dip. As we're going, I have a lip full of coffee and I'm just trucking along, sucking on coffee. So I use that a lot for energy. But I don't use sugar. I use honey. Um, I have some actually. They're sitting right down there. I have some honey down there. I do have different types of trail mix and stuff I use. Um, let's see. I have different like dehydrated fruits and berries and stuff like that that I have too. Hey, good on you for getting your 1,000 rows in ACR, man. That's good. I'm hoping maybe if anything I can fire up the sound equipment over here and get to the drum kit later. It's been like 2 weeks since I've played and I'm itching for it because I've been listening to a lot of metal here lately and like newer stuff. I've been getting into rock and metal and I'm like, I want to start like practicing some of that and getting into it. I don't play in a band or anything. I just fire up Amazon Music and do play along stuff. Jacob, 2A guy, welcome. Yeah, ACR is that all 1,000? That's pretty substantial, man. That's gonna get you. That's gonna get you across the lake, no problem. My next door neighbor here has set up a gym down in his basement. I got my heavy bag, and I'd like to get a speed bag again and get back into doing that. Um, that we were talking maybe they have the lifting gym, and then I have like the boxing gym here at my place. Dude, Charmy will just be up there. She will just hang out. She is my multicam cat. I mean, she's she's my tactical cat, man. She comes in here and hangs out with me when I'm building stuff. Like I was helping a buddy of mine build up an AR and stuff like that and everything else and doing work and doing some gunsmithing type stuff. And she's just got to be here with me, man. Sometimes when I do the podcast, I have to like literally close the door and then have my wife throw a pillow, like the couch pillows, up against the door so that way the cats will stay away because they want to come in here and they want to hang out with me. Number one offender right here. Yeah, I've never really done rowing much. I like working the heavy bag coming from martial arts background. I love doing the heavy bag, love doing the speed bag, love the double ended bag. Um, haven't got into the kettlebells much. Apparently, when I go next door, he's got some over there, so I'll be getting into those as well. But here at the house, I just have like my Wing Chun Mukyanjong dummy that's in the back of some of my early videos. Um, if rowing does help back and knees, I definitely need that because I got the ODST knees, as I call them, from wearing full kit and dropping out of perfectly good aircraft. In the back because of being an electrician and crawling into places and under and crawl spaces and attics and stuff. It doesn't help wearing all that kind of stuff and fitting into weird places. But oh man, but it's not service related. It's not service related. Nope. Nope. Definitely not service related injuries. Here, grab this like way too heavy for anybody pack and like hump it here, or grab this, jump out of this helicopter, do this, do that. Okay, not service related. Gotcha. But yeah, if rowing helps with that kind of stuff, I'm definitely going to be looking to get into that. I haven't done it before, but um, no, like I said, I'm more into like the hitting the heavy bags and working the speed bag and doing the, I call it the Shaolin Turtle Hermit training. But I like doing a lot of that stuff with like the big blue water jugs, like for the water cooler. I like doing like isometric type stuff with those, from like a horse stance, like kind of squatted down, shoulder, you know, legs about, shoulder width apart, squat down a little bit, and doing like picking them up, like picking up your bottle like this, twisting it and setting it down this way, and then picking it up like this, bringing it back over, and then working opposite hands. Um, Forearm strength like is amazing for that, and grip strength. It works amazing. Rowing machine on Amazon about 6 years ago. My wife, I bought her I think it was a Marcy seated bike, and I helped her build the thing. What's happening, brother twin? Welcome. Washing clothes. My stuff's in the dryer right now. But yeah, I bought her that bike, and we used the living crap out of it back in the day, and then we moved over here to the new house, and it was okay, where are we putting this thing? So it came down to the basement. So with everything else going on, it's hard to get on that thing and stay focused because kids come here, kids come there, the phone goes off, everything else. Anytime we get into anything, it's literally, I literally have to take my phone when I go to record a podcast, and I have to literally put it on silent and put it away. If I go to record a video for YouTube, I do it on my phone. So I have to literally silence everything, close everything off, and F off. I'm doing stuff. Like, F off, daddy's working. But yeah, my next video I'll be posting here at some point here today. Actually, a little shout to Twin there, talking about positive comments, coming together and lifting each other up, supporting each other as we're doing here. Um, I'm subscribed to Dartmoor. I'm subscribed to ACR. I'm subscribed, you know, we all subscribe to each other. We all come over on each other's stuff and comment, and we, just like you said, chilling with the cool kids and the sleepy cat. Dartmoor, we I'm going into work tomorrow. I'm later shift this week. Um, so if Twin is able to do any lives, I'll be able to catch like 10 minutes of them as I'm getting ready to roll out the door. But yeah, I'm on the later shift, so I don't get home until about 5. But man, well, I'm glad you're getting to work tomorrow. But we just had end of month, and I've talked before. I work with electrical grid stuff, and it was like the month end push on Friday to get as much out to the co-ops as possible and out to the power companies as much as possible. So we're going to be on week 1, which will be slower anyway. So we end up like creeping along, but we got like a bunch of stuff that's supposed to be coming in. So I'm going to be dealing with all that. I've been bouncing around between departments all week. So I'm thinking this week's going to be pretty crazy. Jacob, painting a rifle. See how it turns out. You can see my paintings, my painteds on my videos. I'd love to show you, but I got my pee smacked the last time I tried to do anything. I'm very clever with electricity, so it's what I've done my entire career. Is I've been an electrician, worked as a lineman, worked as a ground crew, worked as a residential electrician, as a commercial electrician, low voltage, high voltage, mobile electronics. Did IT for a while, so I've kind of had my fingers in it all. By charm. Um, yeah, Twins video on painting his rifle is pretty good. Um, if I do get the chance to, which come springtime, I will have the ability to paint again. So I am probably going to this time set up and do a video of it. How I paint, what I paint, the stuff. I talked about that in my last live a little bit. Um, my space down here. I'd swing it around, but I have devices behind me that I can no longer show on my channel. Otherwise, I get the PP smack. And I don't like getting my PP smacked. But yeah, I will be setting up and doing a video on the painting the rifle. Um, I'm picky with it. I've done 100 or more of them for friends and family and myself and everything else. And everybody, they just literally say, "Hey, call Metal. He can, uh, he can do a paint job for you." Thanks. But not specific ways I do things. I don't go all into like the patterning and all that kind of stuff, like with like tiger stripe and all that. I can, I just don't do it because I like doing that kind of stuff with like fade off detail. And I don't have an airbrush anymore. Years ago, when I had an airbrush, I would fade off detail from like an FDE into a green or an FDE into a black or a chocolate brown or whatever. However, it was laid out with the rough stencils. I would then blend it through so it wasn't like such a hard line. I used to do all that kind of stuff on my paint jobs, and then I clear coat over top of everything with a clear matte. I used to be able to get a ceramic clear coat matte that was amazing, but I have not been able to find that in about 3 years. So definitely depends on your AO. Best thing I found for deciding your paints theme, whatever you're doing, is to go out and spend some time in different seasons. Um, if you're not sure, okay, if so, what's the future of your channel, Tim? Man, anything specific? I'll get that in a second. What I found with painting, if you do like a tan FDE or sand and hit it with some chocolate brown and do that two color, two, maybe three with like a little bit of the sand, leaving some blacks in here and there. You can take and with that Choco snake, you can wrap that and adjust that with vegetation to the environment depending on where you're at. That's why my DM rifle back there that I wish I could touch, um, that stays chocolate and FDE. So I can scrim it up, I can veg it up as I need because your tan and your browns are going to be the base for any season, really. Your greens will change. You may have some orange. You may have like a more of an orangey brown. You may not have any browns. You may have just gray slate. You may be in the desert where you just have those tans. So you got to look at your AO, area of occupancy, and adjust accordingly. As far as future of this channel, I'm looking on here of doing as I'm doing now, survival, preparedness. Um, Brother Larry, welcome to the party, brother. One of my local brothers, Dragon Slayer. Love you, man. We need to have some Yinglings, brother. But paint on the barrel holds up really well if you utilize the ceramic clear matte on your barrel. If you can get a ceramic clear matte, it holds up well. On my SIG, I have put, I lost count of how many rounds through that thing. Um, and it's holding up really well. The Grendel, the 6.5, I've put probably 500 or 600 rounds through it, and no degradation at all. The channel, I'm looking at keeping survival, preparedness, Minuteman type stuff going. Um, Going with all that, gear reviews, things like that. When I am able to create my own gear, as I talked in my last live, I do want to be able to showcase that as well. Um, any series, kind of toss it around a little bit about doing certain things like that, but I with the squirrel mentality, it's hard to focus in. I do series on the podcasts. Um, that's where I will do my mainstay series is on the podcast because it's so much easier to do than just in a video content for me personally with my time constraints and everything. Because I can do show notes for like a week and just rock and roll with it. Do I use military surplus? I do use some military surplus. I did have nothing but military surplus at one point until my lovely ex decided to sell all of my stuff in a yard sale while I was working a 16-hour day. So I lost all of my surplus except a couple things. So I'm re-outfitting over the last 10 years. And yeah, re-outfitting. Just because it's military does not mean it's better. Um, a lot of times she is definitely a bad American for that, and there's a reason why she's the ex-wife. Um, yeah, just because it's military doesn't mean it's better. I found even with my milcert gear, and my issued gear, I had to just revamp a lot of stuff. Um, Add this, cut this, get this reattached over here, move there. Um, yeah, you got to cut. I don't care if you buy super high end gear from like all the like $400 for a pair of pants. You're still going to blow them out the same as you do a $30 pair of pants. I have ACU pants that I bought for like $4 that work just the same after I dye them as the higher end gear that I bought in the past. And some of it I've had years ago. I bought a pair of cry pants. I sucked it up and I bought a pair because they said cry once, buy once, ho ho ho. Zipper blew out in them within 3 weeks. I had to put a new zipper in them. And then next thing you know, where the knee pad inserts go in, they blew out. So then I ended up having to get them stitched back up. It got to the point where I had more stitching on those cry pants than I had on any of my like proper gear or my, Rothco or Wing Dong Ding Dong ones I bought for airsoft. It's just whatever. Um, Own life jacket. That's really cool. Um, I know you were talking about like doing the patches and stuff. I've been like, I know Krista does like stickers and all that kind of stuff. I My wife has a Cricut and we've used that for like making our own stuff on cups, and she made me a cup one year for my birthday. Had my state group stuff on it, and even after like taking care of it and everything else, it's kind of wore off over the years. I just got a big 3 on it. But no, I've had patches made for me in the past. I'm going to try and move so I can hide stuff in the background, perhaps, maybe not. I don't know. I don't. Which one do I hide? Maybe I can get them both. I had a patch made for me years ago. Had this made for my local Mary band, the Knights, Tin Man. Knight is a Tin Man. So Metal the Tin Man. But anyway, I got that made for me and the Mary band some years ago. Like I use this. I have a metal sign one of my buddies made for me with the Knights on it. Um, I've had it retooled. I came up with the concept, and my brother Reaper he redid the logo and made it with an American flag in the background, and then the knight in like multi cam kind of colors, like the tan, the brown, the green, the FDE, and black. He redid it in that aspect. So like, I'm friends with Twin on Facebook, and so he sees my logo on there, my new one. But yeah, I definitely have to have a very heavy machine to be able to do what I need to do. Um, my problem is I've tried getting with more local manufacturing places, and they're more geared for like your camping type stuff and your backpacking and that kind of stuff that they can't do the heavier material that I need. So I found a place in New York that I'm going to hopefully this spring or summer be in contact with, to get my prototyping done, but all costs money. So trying to get that taken care of and get a prototyping. Prototyping for what I want per piece is going to be about a grand a piece. So I'm looking at two, three, four, five. Basically, just to start off, I'm looking at 5 grand right now for my prototypes because everything kind of comes together. We have a couple sewing machines, but nothing that can punch through what I needed to punch through. Yeah, embroidery machines, like getting this done. I had 10 of them done, and it was like around $300 to get 10 of them done. It was not cheap, but these things is this is held up really well, and it's really, as you can see, it's actually pretty thick. It's pretty nice. They did a good job with it, but catch up here. Buy antiques and Facebook Market. I have a buddy um, in the extended mag. He's about an hour away. He does a lot of like my modifications that I've had done. He's made me some, roll up dump pouches that I can like attach to the molly and take off and stuff out of like other nylon pouches I've had. Um, he's done some seriously cool sewing for me. Helped me modify my Spiritus Bank robber rig a little bit. Um, he has a business doing custom seats for motorcycles and saddlebags and convertible tops for vehicles, interior custom interiors for vehicles. He's had his stuff in like national and worldwide magazines and all this and all that. He's like won awards for all of his stuff. Even does like tonneau covers for trucks and boats and stuff like that. He's done a lot for me. He's got bigger, heavier machinery, but he's an hour away, and I just want to be like, "Hey, Kevin, I got another piece I need you to do." I don't want to be that dick. It's like my brother's a contractor, my cousin's a contractor. I have to get a new front door and storm door. I'm not gonna call my brother an hour and something away and have him come help me do a door. I'm not gonna have my cousin come in from Wisconsin to do a door, even though that's what he does for a living. So I'm gonna do it myself. I'm not gonna be that guy. All the other family and friends, they are like, hey, hey, can you come do this? Hey, can you come do it myself? Twin, it will definitely be badass once it's prototyped. The more you buy, yeah, price does come down. Um, especially with the patches. When I started out, I wanted like 5 of them, and it was going to be the same price for basically like It was like $26 more for me to do 10 than it was to do 5. So I was like, double it, and then a price drop per. But Zach, what's going on, man? I'm using the Beef Wang UV5R. I also have the Anytone DVI 878 DVI Plus. Using that for DMR radio, but I'm not a huge fan of it. Um, one of the other brothers uh, over there in Blair area, lives north of you there. He helped me program it out because had no experience with DMR radios. Um, he programmed it up for me and helped me out with it and had Bedford and Blair ops on it and stuff like that and everything else. And I'm like, okay, this is cool. I didn't really have anybody up here on the mountain to talk to with it. So I was like, well, just set it over there. Well, the battery died. Whenever I went to fire it back up, it reset to factory and I lost all the programming. So chances are I'll probably be getting rid of it at some point and maybe buying a pack radio. Um, Something more along the lines of, being able to throw it in a pack, have an antenna I can send up or do a field expedited antenna, something like that for up here in the mountain folk. And chances are, with the rig I have in my truck, Zach, I could probably reach you from here. Um, yeah, it's a UV5R set up in my truck, but from where I'm at, I can hit probably about 30 miles away, to an antenna repeater there to catch one of my buddies up in Butler, which is like an hour and something to the north above Pittsburgh. That he can hit me through that repeater. So it's kind of cool that I'm using a little UV5R with an antenna on top of my truck and then hitting that repeater to get to him in Butler when I have guys. ACR, take care, brother. We'll catch you later on, man. Yeah, and I'll get with you ACR here soon. We'll exchange info and figure that all out because Twin's first in line, then I'll have you come on after Twin. But yeah, having the ability to reach with that stupid little UV5R whenever smoke, he's using a freaking tabletop big old freaking ham unit. That's pretty cool. Yeah, Hawkeye's a good dude, man. Caught him on your live earlier. He and I have gone back and forth on the Twitter space a few times with commenting on each other's stuff. But yeah, Hawkeye's a good dude, and yeah, I look forward to like having BS session with the guy. He's a really cool dude. But what time we got here? Let me see what's going on in the actual life of life here. And it looks like the kids are here, my friends. And that means that I will be shifting gears from the guy that's on the YouTubes to the guy that's doing the Spotify and doing the podcast. So I'll be switching over there and recording episode 47, Ashes, Ashes, We All Fall Down, which will be my disclaimer schizo rant like Mr. Risky Krisky does. Except mine's going to go way further than what he normally does. And it will be probably bourbon infused. As I take a sip of apple juice here. But yeah, I hope you guys are having a great day, great morning, great evening, whenever you're watching this in replay. And for all of you that have joined on and joined me here, some of my local homies jumping in here. Still need to get together with you and have a beer, Zach. But and Larry, if you're still watching, we need to have that long distance yingling, brother. But anywho, you guys, thanks for jumping on, supporting me here, throwing in the likes, the comments, all that stuff. Video will be out on the Marksman rig here very soon. And yeah, man, you guys be safe, and I'll catch you all in the next live. Keep rocking. And as Twin says, always forward, guys. Later, fellas.